Hey guys, welcome back to Shenanigans 4x4. I'm giving a review on my Adventure Kings rooftop tent today. To do that, I suppose I better set it up. Okay, so that was a realistic setup time. I've opened up all the windows and just got the fly screens open to let the whole thing vent out, because it does get quite hot up in there pretty quickly as soon as you start setting it up. So the realistic time of setting it up, 9 minutes and 37 seconds, around 10 minutes, which still isn't too bad. It's a lot slower than what Adventure Kings claim as 3 to 4 minutes, or whatever the actual claim is. I'll put that down here, what the actual claim is. Yeah, pretty easy to do. I'll take you for a little tour up in there. One thing I will add, I haven't tied down the guide ropes here. I've also got the 6-man Annex that I'm going to also be setting up, so I'm not going to bother with them right this second. That will probably add another 5 minutes to the whole setup. They're not necessary, but do help when it's high wind. It's a pretty hot day today, 33 degrees, no wind. I'm sweating like a pig, so let's get this over with. Alright, so overall I am pretty happy with the tent. It is very spacious. Got plenty of ventilation. One thing I will suggest, I've seen a few videos of people setting these up with the window rods. If you put it in the bottom here first and then the top, it makes it a hell of a lot easier. So you put it straight in and then flex it up to the top, instead of putting that in there then trying to flex it and stick it in there at the same time. I've seen heaps of people doing that. It just makes it so much harder. Alright, let's go up and have a look inside. So we've got the bar here that holds this little shelter bit out. If the guy ropes are attached down, the whole thing's a lot more steady. I would be doing that regardless of whether it's windy or not. But yeah, I won't be doing that because I'm putting the Annex on. So one thing I want to say about the ladder as well, so it's extruded aluminium, and they haven't filed any of the edges, so should be especially careful, especially on this part here, so you can catch your leg on that pretty easily going up. Actually, that part is filed. The top ones aren't, that part is filed, but I've still cut myself on it, so they haven't done a very good job at rounding those edges off. So up in the tent, it's very spacious. It's very hot outside at the moment, but in here, in the shade, with a nice cool breeze flowing through here, it's actually pretty nice. So yeah, we've got the standard mattress it comes with. It's very soft. You can feel the floor a little bit, but yeah, I'd say that's still pretty comfortable to sleep on. I have slept on it in a sleeping bag. And yeah, it was a pretty cold night in the high country when I did that, so it does keep you nice and warm. It was pissing down rain too. Kept it nice and dry. So you've also got these little elastic bits that stretch over to the other side. So it goes across like that, but when you're packing it up, it just helps pull everything in nice and tight. There's 4 of those down in the corners. Yeah. So you got some ventilation up the top here, one on the other side. I guess that still provides ventilation even when you've got everything closed up. Then you've got little pockets here, put your phone in at night. I don't think my phone would fit in there. Got the S10, the S22 Ultra, or it just fits in. So yeah, if you've got a smaller phone, it's definitely fine, but it's pretty tight. I'd probably end up tearing the little canvas part open if I kept using that. Yeah, it's a nice cozy tent. There's plenty of room I'm not super tall, but I can nearly just kneel straight up. Just got to bend my neck a little bit. Not even sure how tall I actually am. I'll measure myself when I get home and I'll put that down below. Let's come back out of the tent and set up the annex. Alright, so I've done a little bit of a mischief. I thought my tent pegs were in this bag. They're clearly not. So at the moment the annex does look a little bit flat. But you can basically get the picture. So the poles inside here come out to there. I then pull the guide rope down and that's what holds it sturdy. I don't know that I like just having a single pole on each side. It does make it a little flimsy if one of your guy ropes come out in the middle of the night. The whole tent's going to fall on you. Something like a bit more of a frame to come back down and across. Obviously that's going to increase your setup time, but make it a little bit more sturdy. So it was about 15 minutes that took to set up completely. Of course, not including the guide ropes. I did cheat a little bit from how you get it from the factory. As you saw, I just rolled the whole thing out and set it up from there. When you get it new from Adventure Kings, it comes in 2 parts. So this, just bring it inside for a sec, the whole floor is a zip, goes right the way around, and that floor is actually a separate piece. That made it a little difficult to set up the first time. I think it took me about an hour roughly to set up the first time. No instructions came with it, separate pieces, had to figure out where they all went. Yeah, I've done my best to figure it out and this is the result. Yeah, if we go inside, there is plenty of room here. Doesn't look too much with it collapsed in. Let me just see if I can get a good shot. It really does open out quite a bit. There's still more that it opens up back there. Had a little bit of a breeze earlier and that was coming in and actually holding the poles up. No such luck now. Yeah, this is a very poorly prepared review, isn't it? Where the actual tent attaches to the car, it's the same sail track as the lid, the canvas, or the black plastic cover for the tent. So we have to take that out, slide this one in. With this rail, I'd say it has the same issues as the ladder. It's extruded aluminium, hasn't really been filed down too well, and there are some sharp bits. So I wouldn't be banking on the longevity of the material around that little piece that goes in the sail track. I'll probably never be using this unless I need to get to my max tracks for some reason in the middle of the night, but there is access to a rear door of a car if you got it on top of a wagon and you got it coming down sideways, obviously. I think the Annex provides a lot of extra room. So I've got a family of 5. We're going to be going camping together in a couple of months. I've already had this set up just for a one-night camp with my 2 boys at Mount Disappointment. I didn't record anything going on there, just a little family fun. But yeah, they thoroughly enjoyed themselves. Had the 2 boys sleeping upstairs and I slept downstairs on a queen airbed. One thing with the tent as well, you have these little flaps here. They actually go directly into the tent. I think there's a little piece of material here that's meant to sit, yeah, there it is. It's kind of gotten bunched up in there. It's meant to sort of block it out a little bit. and should make sure that's always sort of in place. So I was at my tailgate the morning when we camped at Mount Disappointment, standing here making some bacon and eggs. Looked up and there was a huntsman crawling straight across right next to that hole, and I hadn't had it opened. Luckily he turned away, walking over there, and I whacked him off with a stick. But yeah, just make sure that that little piece of material doesn't get lost in there and protects you from creepy crawlies. Overall, it does do a great job keeping bugs out, as a tent should. Now, the pros and cons of this rooftop tent are, so it is really quick to set up and pack down, the tent itself at least. Haven't had too much experience setting up or packing down the Annex, but we'll see how that goes in a minute. We camped for 3 days in the high country, camped 2 nights, and both of those mornings it was really quick to pack up and get going, and really quick to set up when we got to camp at night. So it does its job in that sense. The material the tent itself is made out of is fairly thick canvas. It feels very durable. With the Annex, it's a lot thinner. It's supposedly still the Rooftop canvas. It's a different material to the top one. Don't quote me on that. I believe I read that somewhere. But yeah, that does look like it could tear quite a bit easier. But yeah, I won't be taking this to as remote locations as I'll be taking the tent, because yeah, I'll have the whole family with me if I'm taking the Annex. As far as the quality goes, I know Adventure Kings gets bashed a lot for their cheap products, but they are cheap products that allow us to go camping, allow us to get out there and do what we love. But quality wise, I'm very happy with it. Like I said, with all the extruded aluminium, they could probably do a better job filing that down, so it's not cutting people. I have heard of an instance of somebody breaking one of the ladders while climbing up. Mine hasn't broken yet, but it does seem pretty flimsy. Something a lot of people have complained about is the floor there where you first hop into the tent. I'm not sure exactly what's holding that up, but it doesn't seem like much. There is actually, I would assume, yeah, it feels like there's some sort of bracing in there that's going to stop you from falling through. But yeah, that sound when you're crawling around up there doesn't make you feel too good, but all good so far. And the only other gripe I have about the quality of how it comes, when I did unpack the tent, I unfolded it for the first time and I found quite a bit of drill swarf in there from where they drilled the holes to attach to the roof. It's just a quick vacuum, but it's just one of those little attention to detail things that they obviously haven't considered. The only downside of the rooftop tent in the first place is you can't just drive away from camp. It is very quick to pack up just the tent if you're just solo camping or just camping with another person, and go into town, get some supplies, firewood, stuff like that. But yeah, once you've got the Annex attached, makes for a lot more pack down. Just to, yeah, if you're running out of supplies, you're gonna have to pack the whole lot down, go get supplies, come back and reset it all up again. With the Annex, I would suggest setting this up at home for the first time so you can familiarize yourself with it. I don't know if there's any how-to videos on how to set it up. You can follow my little example there. I don't know how good I did it, because like I said, there's no instructions, sort of figured it out myself, and I forgot my tent pegs, which makes me look like a dick. But yeah, figure it out at home, because like I said, we rocked up to camp. I tried to figure it out on the spot. It took me about an hour just to set it up, but then all the other boys are just sitting around the fire drinking tinnies. The kids are all having fun, and I was absolutely knackered. So I think that's a good little walk around of the Adventure Kings rooftop tent and the 6-man Annex. They also have the 4-man Annex, which doesn't have the extra tent poles. It just pretty much comes straight down from the end of the tent, just to enclose this little area. That would probably be fine, even for my family of 5. The size of it, you could cram in there. The extra room is handy. But yeah, I would recommend this tent. So what's that, 10 minutes for the tent setup and 15 minutes for the Annex. So that's the 25 minutes you're all set up, pull a beer out of the fridge and you're ready to go. So that's 25 minutes set up. How long does it take to pack down? Let's find out. There you go, it took 24 minutes, about the same time as set up to pack back down. Definitely for the price, I think it's an absolute winner. I think they have gone up in price since when they were first introduced. They used to be a real bargain. But the other thing I wanted to touch on too is the combination of the Osru tub rack, which is sort of the same design as the King's tub rack. I believe the King's one is actually a bit thinner. Mate Scott's got the King's one on his, actually feels quite thin compared to my Osru one. But this exact setup I think is a great height for the tent. If it was any lower, so I did consider getting the half height rack. If it was that low, I think have issues bumping your head and stuff. If you've got a half height rack and you have no issues, let me know, because that's what I was originally looking at. Obviously, if you dip the height of the of the tent down, it's going to help with your fuel economy because there's going to be less drag. Yeah, I'm very happy with this tent, and hopefully there's many more camping trips to come. Thanks for sticking around this far. Not wearing any of my merch today, but check out the link down below to pick up a Shenanigans 4x4 t-shirt or hoodie. And there's also a Patreon link down below. Leave a like down below and comment, let me know how we're doing. And I do want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed, because we have now passed 1,000 subscribers. I couldn't have done it without you, so yeah, thanks heaps for that. Here's to 1,000 more. Cheers. I'll see you next time.